Some positive news on the employment front in South Korea. The number of newly employed people in March posted its biggest on-year increase of any March in 2 decades. The employment rate was also the highest for a month of March since 1989. The jobless rate and the number of economically inactive people also fell. Rae-hyun reports.
The number of people in employment in March saw the highest on-year increase last month compared to any March for the last 20 years. Data released by Statistics Korea on Wednesday shows that the number of people in jobs in March stood at over 27.7 million, a rise of more than 830,000. This was an on-year increase for each of the last 13 consecutive months. The employment rate for people aged 15 to 64 reached 67.8%, also the highest for the month of March since data was first compiled in 1989. This comes as the unemployment rate dropped 1.3 percentage points on year to 3%. A decline in the number of people who are economically inactive, those who have the ability to work but are not due to a lack of suitable options, also contributed to the rise in employment rate.
The economically inactive population decreased overall by 277,000 on year, with the number of people studying in institutions or doing house chores both dropping.
The medical and social welfare service sector saw the greatest increase, up 10.3% from a year ago. Jobs in the manufacturing sector increased some 100,000 to 4.5 million, the highest increase since January 2018. A Statistics Korea official says this is related to the country's export growth.
With the country seeing a steady growth in exports of machinery and equipment, employment rates in the manufacturing industry have risen dramatically.
However, some in-person service sectors saw difficulties due to the spread of the Omicron variant. The number of people working in the wholesale and retail sectors fell by 32,000, while the lodging and restaurant sector declined 20,000 compared to the same period last year. Meanwhile, one expert says an on-year increase in March this year is related to COVID-19 recovery.
As the employment market plunged due to COVID-19 last year, a great on-year increase this month seems to be a base effect from last year's low figure.
He added that as the government is trying to create more jobs and with further recovery from the pandemic expected, employment rates are forecasted to grow in a long term. Rae-hyun, Arirang News.